In this segment, we are going to look at the idealized social structure of the Middle Ages. Recall that in the last section, we talked about the transition from the classical to the medieval in terms of a reorientation of life. The focus of European life shifted from a more secular outlook to one that was focused on heaven. This shift also had a profound impact on the relationship of the individual to society. In the classical period, individuals were prominent in many areas: architecture, art, chronicles, laws, and governance. However, as we transition into the medieval period, this prominence diminishes. Notably, individuals, aside from a few like kings, seem to vanish from the historical narrative. The focus shifts from individual identity to collective roles within societal structures. Let's delve into this concept further. In the Middle Ages, Western European society was structured into three distinct corporations, usually referred to as the Three Estates. The word corporation originates from the Latin word corpus, meaning body, symbolizing these groups as integral parts of a social body. The first estate, the bellatores, or the nobility, derived from the term bella, meaning warer. This group, comprising knights and kings, was entrusted with the responsibility of protection, safeguarding the other two estates, the clergy and the peasants. Next, we have the oratores, the second estate, encompassing the clergy. The term oratores translates to prayers, reflecting their spiritual role. In medieval theology, salvation was attainable solely through the church. Consequently, the church's role was essential in mediating salvation for everyone, including themselves, the nobility, and the peasants. Some of us may not think of the afterlife as being an important consideration, but to these people, it was the most important thing. Lastly, the third estate, the obradores, represented the workers, primarily the peasants. This term refers to those who worked the land, highlighting the agrarian focus of medieval society. Their primary duty was to provide sustenance and physical support for themselves and the other two estates. This societal structure presents a finely balanced ecosystem where each estate has a defined role and benefits mutually from the others. For instance, the nobility offers protection, the clergy provides spiritual guidance, and the peasants support both with their labor. However, this structure was rigid. Birth determined one's estate, with limited mobility. A noble remained in their class, with some joining the clergy, often leading to corruption within the church. A peasant's life, including education, marriage, and even burial, was predetermined with no concept of social mobility as understood today. This societal model, spanning roughly 1,000 years from 476 to 1453, presents a stable yet idealized view of the Middle Ages. As we progress towards the 15th century, we observe deviations from this ideal. Nobles focused less on protection, more on self-interest. The clergy, centered in Rome, increasingly neglected their spiritual duties, contributing to corruption. The peasants, bearing the economic burden, became acutely aware of these disparities. Despite recognizing the flawed reality, peasants largely conformed to the system, deterred by the brutal enforcement of the social order by both the church and nobility. This dynamic underscores the power structures of medieval society, setting the stage for eventual social and political upheaval. Please answer the questions for this session under the assignment in Canvas. If you have any questions, you may post them in the open forum discussion or use Canvas email to contact the professor.